hello, and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Ultraviolet Grasslands tonight, continuing the adventures of Cracker's Keepers. Try to work on a title for this, but I don't think Cracker's Keepers is going to make sense for everybody. But something like that.
I'm willing to take that for now.
I think it works. I really like that we have Crackers back in the party, sort of.
Sort of.
We had some interesting things. I like how with this game I write down these notes and they're like crazy and nuts. I'm like, oh yeah, this is nuts. And then we go to play and it's just like everything's even worse and crazier than I wrote down. So it's like that's perfect. But yeah, it's awesome. Like the fact, like how our last session ended is not even remotely close to how I thought that whole encounter would go, and that's just like perfect. Like that's one of the reasons I love UVG so far. But enough of that nonsense. Let's introduce some people. Tell us who you are, what you're playing. What just as much as who, because there's so many weird things people are playing. And if you got anything that you care to plug for the folks that are watching, go ahead and drop that too. So we're just gonna go by the overlay. And Joe, you're first.
All right. I'm Joe from the Defenders of Kobold, and I am playing Ensen, the Musclemancer, the wizard that likes to cast spells by flexing his muscles.
Indeed, and we got to get that. I think tonight might be the night, as we are.
I think so.
Tonight. Yeah, I 2 weeks ago I reread all the combat rules, assuming that we were finally going to start to get into a combat, and tonight I didn't. So that means we're probably going to get into combat tonight. I feel like that's just how it works. Yeah,
that's how it works. Yeah,
and we're great. Moving over, we got Melissa. Who are you?
Melissa with Adventures in Lollygagging. Here I play Satrap 956 Lamb. So a orange suited creature with a little many-fingered monkey lizard, Phil, as my companion. In my downtime, I like to practice throwing knives, and Phil is a little bit of a pickpocket.
Yeah. Satraps are so cool because like you don't really know what's in their suits. And so like Phil just goes in and hangs out a certain portion of the suit. How big is Phil, by the way? I'm not sure if I asked. What would you compare him to?
Like cat size.
Cat size? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Let's keep it going. Bert, who are you?
Hey, I'm Bert from Of Steam, Steel, and Murder, the podcast and the Twitch stream, and I'm playing Khalil Abu, the coffee salesman / barber surgeon, with his pet, an animated furry chitinous kite.
You haven't gotten to that yet. I can't wait to see how you decide to use that. A chitinous kite. It's wonderful.
Furry kite.
Furry too.
Kite.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't want to get cold.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And down the bottom row, we got a Chuck.
That's me. Hi, I'm Chuck. And in this, I am playing Tango Carne, a blue ghost, just couch surfer extraordinaire. Although I need a new meat suit because I loaned my last one out.
Yeah, you did. Nobly, though.
Nobly.
Sort of. Maybe.
Kind of.
You might have unleashed the apocalypse, one of the two. Who knows?
I might have. But at least I will be friends with the apocalypse, and that's what counts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's only the apocalypse for those who aren't friends with the apocalypse. So
yes.
That's great.
Very true.
Moving it on over. Speaking of unleashing the apocalypse, we got Jeremy.
Yay! I'm going to be playing Mercutio Sabotage. I'm the elastic-lidded breeding cat lord and a bit of a big game hunter, but more importantly, I love making friends. Like right now, I have my friend Manmeat, but he's Manmeat too, Electric Boogaloo, because we went to the most delightful queen, and she's joined us.
Oh, God. Indeed, I have joined you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance and to join the caravan that's going on such wonderful noble adventures.
And we still have Crackers too.
So
it's
hard.
Great.
Crackers doesn't sound like that anymore because he doesn't have vocal cords left.
That's okay, but he's here with us in spirit, or well, not spirit, body, but you know, tomato.
He's bone. Yeah, he's bone. There we go.
He's just here in bones.
He's just here in bones. And finally, we got Dan. Dan, who are you?
Hi everybody, Dan with the Defenders, and I'm playing another Satrap as well, number 14 Teapot.
and I pushed the buttons and stuff last time and helped us get into trouble.
You did, yeah. You, Mister, your VOM tech knowledge allowed you to more easily navigate the various machinery. There were a couple little booby traps.
Let's get into this.
There were booby traps in that thing, but your rolls just like completely bypassed them. So there's a lot of other things that could have potentially happened to people inside of that room. But Dan has never watched The Golden Girls. I had forgotten that that's the case.
That's true.
I should have killed him. It's great.
This is probably why I'm last in line. So
yeah, that's true. Yep.
All
right.
Right off the edge.
Yeah. Next time he's not even gonna be on. It's just gonna be a blank little area. I wonder if I have a cover for him. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So let's get started. So let's just do a quick summary. So the overall thing is, you guys have the reason you're together as a group is because you've been having these shared visions / dreams of that are apparently gifted by someone known as the True Mother, who has been pointing you all westward into the ultraviolet grasslands, this massive psychedelic steppe where it just gets weirder and crazier as you extend further west. Now, you were basically recruited or collected by a financier named Circleangelo at the behest of his horned rat masters, who have funded your caravan along with other caravans to head west and try to find more visions of the True Mother. And the goal is to accrue or collect like a series of keys or something like that to unlock the ability to ascend, much like the Sky Shamans of old. So that's like the overarching thing. Now, more recently, you've been traveling around the Steppe of the Lime Nomads, and you've been going more, north and north and north, getting closer and closer to the Blue Ridge Mountains, almost kind of going off the map of the game, which is fantastic. You discovered a cryptic of a Vomish queen that has been long left in solitude, and you actually managed to recruit her into your party. So after you took the noble crackers, got him liquefied, and then reanimated as a skeleton, you now recruited a Vomish queen. Now, Vom are violent mechanisms who are generally considered the villains of the area. But you recruited her into her party, and she was suffering, solitude. Her memory was kind of had blanks. It just wasn't quite functioning properly. But both MSG and Tango Carne donated their man meat and meat sack for her to download some of her vast consciousness into their brains, and she is now a polybody with like compacted zip files of her memories. And so as she accrues more bodies, maybe more of her memories and more of her abilities begin to unlock. We'll see how that goes. You also managed to fold in what was that?
They said there's no way that'll go wrong.
There's no way.
How could
Not
it?
at all. How could it possibly? You're just freeing minds.
7 skeletal porters.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So you managed to get crackers back into the fold, along with a couple skeletal porters, so laborers basically, and then you continued north towards the mossy sea of the Megapede, something that MSG has been hunting since his time at Violet City, where he heard about this big old alien Megapede that was roaming about the steppe land somewhere, and you have discovered it. But you also discovered that there was the Megapede itself was just massive, like 3-segmented biomechanical creature that Tango was able to scout out by going ghost form in the sea. And I think it was Ensen who spotted this structure on the northwest rim of this huge like crater / sea. And when he went to investigate that structure, you saw that it was like a church-like edifice, and there were about 24 worshiping people in the back overlooking the sea itself, and there a robed figure has just sacrificed a body rolling over the edge of this extended platform like a diving board over the sea itself, where the Megapede came up, much like a great white breaking the surface of the ocean, and snatched the figure. And that's where we're going to start up, right there. So all of you we're gonna say you park the caravan outside, obviously, in front of the church, while the rest of you managed to move around. Like, you went through the church, you saw like the various pews and things like that, but it was empty at the time. And then you went out back, and that's where you see like almost like a picnic setup, a series of tables and stuff, with food and people who cheered and like and sort of chanted as this person was sacrificed and rolled into the giant sea. So I'm trying to get some music going. Doesn't seem to be working for me for some reason. Let's see.
Totally normally
there
cool
it goes.
People, right?
Yeah. So anyway.
We're
So
in Rome, right?
as you all are there, the figure that's at the end of the diving board turns around receives this great huzzah from everyone who is in the audience, turns to look at you,
Except for us.
and all of a sudden, like 24 sets of eyes turn, like almost in unison, not quite, and they're now eyeing you down. And he says, I do his voice. I am Big Pharma. Ah, we have visitors, he says. And you can see he's holding like this kind of strange looking scepter. He's got this knife, this like sacrificial knife that's dripping this dark blood. And all of a sudden, all of the people there start to get up and approach you. What are you all doing?
Did we come at the wrong time?
Please don't stop on our account. This is a wonderful display.
Are any of you interested in a nice caffeinated coffee beverage?
So they're going to continue kind of slowly beginning to surround you, this big group, and the figure that's at the top by the diving board will step down onto the main kind of the ground of this level, and will kind of walk in your direction, and he will speak a language. He will say some words in a language that you probably don't understand. He'll say something, and it'll sound like he's waiting for you to respond. Chuck, as Tango,
Yes.
go ahead and roll a thought test. This is going to be very difficult, however.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll a thought test. If you have anything that's like language or linguistics or something like that in your skill sheet, you can go ahead and add that as well.
No. I got smooth operator, playing it cool in social encounters.
Yeah, you can take it because you can always kind of fake it till you make it.
Yeah. So what do I just add? What was that?
Your
2 to that?
proficiency bonus, basically. So right now, I think at your level, it's 2.
Yeah. So I got a 7 there. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a heroics to throw a 6 on there. No, I'm just gonna call it good. There's no way I'm gonna get close enough.
And everyone can go ahead and take an extra d6, by the way, an extra heroic, because we just started up. Okay, I'm trying to get his voice. I can't remember. I am Big Pharma. It is time to juice you up. I am Big Pharma. So he says something to you, and he's like, how very pitiful. I thought perhaps you might have a bit of the tongue. Suppose you do not. Nonetheless, come, friends. Come join us. Sit, eat, be merry. You are here on an auspicious day. I am Brother Slavkov. It is pleasure to make your acquaintance. Please, sit, eat. And he kind of like sort of gestures to all these different picnic tables that have all this food, like just huge spreads on them. And like all while this is happening, the followers are just kind of starting to surround you a little bit. You said you have coffee.
Why, yes. If you can point me to some nice hot water, I'd be glad to brew you all some excellent coffee.
He points over like to the back of like that corner where there's this table, and there's like a couple different machines. Perhaps you might try to operate one of the pieces of old tech. You might be able to get it to boil. We've had trouble out here. The ash gets into everything. Very difficult to clean.
I will be happy to be your barista today. Let's see what we have to work with here.
Oh, fabulous.
Go over and take a look.
Sure.
So maybe I can help you with it too.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay. Sure. Dan, why don't you go ahead and you can just roll some kind of tech test. Thought makes the most sense, but you know, if you think something else is warranted, and you have a skill you think works, it's fine. Anything for like engineering, anything like that's fine.
Just foam tech.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm trying
This
to
isn't
remember.
quite foam tech, but it's close enough.
Gosh.
Yes, you
Trying to
must
remember
roll
what I
for
get
this in
for
theory.
that. Was it +1 or +2?
It's +2 at this level. It's like a all-purpose proficiency bonus whenever you use your skill. Like every skill, like if you have the skill, you just basically get it at that level.
15's not too terrible.
Okay. No, you're able to. You're able to get it working, and you can see that there's a couple things over here. There appears to be some kind of like grinding blender-like machine, but then there is also what looks like a huge drum that's filled with like this kind of yellowish water, and as you get it working, you can see that like these burners underneath it begin to heat up, and they start shooting little bubbles up from below, and it seems to be like kind of boiling it, possibly even sanitizing it to a degree. But yeah, you're able to get it functioning.
Maybe we give this a second to let it do its thing.
What are the rest of you doing?
These people that are kind of like, so there's like the rest of them are trying to slowly surround us.
They've surrounded you at this point, and like
Okay.
groups of them are starting to like get around each of you. So like none of you are going anywhere by yourselves, or like everyone's got like 2 or 3 people around them. So over by like the coffee maker, Khalil,
They have
Teapot,
like
have a couple.
weapons drawn, or
you can see that they're in some kind of crude robes, but periodically the flaps kind of move in the breeze, and you can see that they have like cudgels and knives and some other things here and there. Like they definitely have weapons underneath their clothes.
Okay.
So, y'all seem friendly. Like you're cool with, who and what I am.
So you're in your ghost form? Is that
Yeah, I
your-
don't have a meat
okay.
suit anymore, so I'm all ghost.
It is peculiar to see one so open with your condition, but as far as I am concerned, it is preferable to see you as opposed to see you hiding within the body, controlling another individual. Your transparency is refreshing.
Nice, man. That's all right. Yeah, I can get behind that. So, like, do y'all feed people to the giant centipede?
We make sacrifices.
Oh, all right. Are you going to sacrifice my friends?
That remains to be seen.
Okay. Cool. Like, what do we got to do to not get them sacrificed?
You must simply be of devout and the follower of the god, the blue god, the rotten god, for which with the creature that you call Megapede is the physical manifestation of the return. We shall feed until it grows and grows enough that we can unleash it on the rest of the grasslands. It shall devour the Violet City, as has been prophesied.
Wow. That's kind of cool. I've been inside that thing, man.
Oh,
It's kind of
That is-
scary in there.
that is very presumptuous of you, to think that you are worthy to be inside the body of a living god.
Boy, when I went in there, it talked to me and stuff, man.
It talked to you.
Yeah, man.
What
It was
did,
all like rattling and like grating and like deep but high pitched. It was crazy, man.
And what messages did you take from it?
It said, be excellent to each other, and your party will guide the way to the great devouring.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah,
Very
man.
Interesting. Do you have any kind of bullshittery in your skill list?
No.
Go ahead and roll, but smooth operator. So go ahead and roll.
Okay,
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead and roll something. Or maybe probably makes sense here. Maybe.
What's that? Aura? Okay, I got a one on
or
that.
was there? I can't remember.
There's
stats.
charisma, yeah.
Oh, charisma's charisma's better.
All right, I'll take that. So that'll give me +4 on this. How many heroics can I spend at a time for extra D6s?
As many as you want.
All right, I'll spend 1 and then 2.
15, I'll say, is DC.
I'm at 12 then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll spend
Nice.
3.
I had the feeling about you. You seemed as though, I'm not yet sure about your compatriots, but you, what is your name?
Oh, my name's Tango.
Tango. Yeah. An apostle of the rotten god. How pleasurable it is to meet your acquaintance. I would shake your hand if you
I
were
had
to have
one.
had one. Quick.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
he snaps really quickly, and you can see one of the cultists comes waddling up. Give yourself over to our new friend, Apostle Tango.
Oh, snap, man. That's awesome. And I'll just slither right up that nose cavity.
Good. And he like embraces you, puts both hands on your shoulder, kind of pulls you in, does like a cheek to cheek kind of big sloppy kiss on either side, and kind of pulls you back and like, you will feast with us now. You will fill your belly with the bounty fit for the rotten god. Sit. You shall sit at my table, Tango, my new friend.
Awesome, man. Thanks. I'll have a seat.
Okay, so you sit down and you can see that there's this massive array of food. But now that you have like a body and now that you're sitting next to it, your nostrils are assaulted with rot. As when you look down, the food is just awful. You see huge bowls of like turned over milk and cottage cheese and dairy products. You see moldy cheese. You see meat that has definitely kind of gone to a different sort of color than should be natural. You see leaves and things that have gone wilted. Like everything looks awful. There's flies and insects buzzing around it. Eat, my friend, eat.
It's not my stomach, man. I'll eat. I'll start eating.
Okay. All right. So while this is all happening, what are the rest of you doing?
Like, kind of just, I'm wondering, it like, because the queen had bored into my head, am I still able to kind of talk to her mentally at all, or do we still need to do like verbal communication?
She's more part, like her download into the other two at this point has basically freed up that connection, so you would have to like go back out. So like the game sort of treats it so like in situations like this, like the caravan people are like elsewhere and you guys are the heroes focusing on it, but if there's like a specific NPC or something that you want to bring along with you for whatever reason, like we could totally say that as well. So if you want her to, if you want her to be here, we can say she's here.
No, that makes sense. Maybe if she's not. Okay, I'll think of something.
Okay.
I don't want to bring her into this group.
Are they
Lamb,
offering us to
Ensen?
eat as well?
Yes, all of you, but not in such a preferred seat as Tango has, which is up front towards the altar.
Well, one of my skills is iron gullet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna chow down.
All right.
I am busying myself making the perfect cups of coffee for everybody that comes up to the table, thereby avoiding the food.
All right. So, Ensen, Tango, and anybody else who eats. Who else is anybody else partaking?
I think the joke for me will be I'll just take some food and just like smear it on my helmet and just
Jeff, How many
Yes.
people are actually drinking the coffee? Like, does it seem like there's a fair number of people?
Let's see. I'm gonna do a little roll here. More than half, but not all.
In my inventory, I have 2 sleep capsules,
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
which I am
see
going
where
to
you're
brew into the coffee.
So since there are people like kind of flanking you and watching everybody, let's do some
But
kind
how
of
would
like.
they know? Because I'm grinding things, I'm putting in some cinnamon, dash it this, dash it that.
Okay.
Just mix the
That's a
capsule
fair
in with
point.
the coffee grinder and stir it up a little bit.
That's a fair point.
Have they even seen coffee be made before?
Okay. How about this? Instead of rolling like a skullduggery,
Mhm.
we'll make this more of a like an alchemy type test, like trying to get the proportions right to see
Sure.
if it will affect them. Let's roll that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be able to get it. So anything like that you think might have to do with like alchemy, coffee making,
Well,
whatever.
I have medicine. I
Sure.
have coffee making. I have protocol. I know the proper way to make coffee
Yeah.
and serve it.
You only
So
get
what do
you
you
only
think
get
would work?
benefits from one skill. So either any of
fine.
those is fine. So take your
In
plus
this case, it's
2.
probably the medicine.
Yeah.
So I get a +2 from that.
Yeah, take a +2 from that, and then
Uh-huh.
you can roll this as it's up to you if you want to roll it as like this is just your intelligence, just roll thought. If you want to roll this as a like physically mixing it, then you can roll agility or something like that, whatever you prefer.
Well, I'll do agility, a little sleight of hand, and
Okay.
mixing it, getting the right proportions and all of that.
Okay.
So I'm sorry again. What is this? A D20?
Just roll a
and
D20.
I'm adding.
Add 2 for your skill, and then add whatever your bonus is in the stat, whatever your number is in the stat.
4, and I can roll the D6s after the fact. Yes.
Yeah, or you can
19?
spend them beforehand to roll with advantage. So beforehand with advantage or after to add.
Sure.
19. Oh yeah, that's no problem. This is easy. They're looking at you, but you can tell that they're not familiar with the various utensils and ingredients they're pulling out. They're just sort of assuming you're doing what you say you're doing.
And the idea is, having been put to sleep with one of these capsules before, having an idea of how potent it is. So I want them to get, not immediately, but over a little bit of time, get drowsier and drowsier. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking like, and then you dump the capsules in that gives the flavor. Okay, yeah. So you wanted to sort of have like a time release thing. A little bit. Okay, fair enough.
So that it's not suspicious that everybody's just dropping down.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay, so Teapot and Ensen, Lamb, and MSG. What are the 4 of you doing? I kind of have Tango and Khalil. I kind of know what the 2 of them are doing. What are the 4 of you doing?
So
Guess I'm-
Lamb kind of heard that like, oh, it's an auspicious day, and so she wants to try to do a little entertainment.
Okay.
So satraps kind of have the light skills that they can do that I named my rainbows and unicorns skill. So kind of putting on like a little light show. You can, kind of create light, bend light, make colors and all
maybe
that kind of
maybe
stuff.
I can
so-
have the laser-eyed land squid help you out with that.
Okay. It's a satrap. It's a satrap duo. Okay. Go
Perfect.
ahead. Go ahead and roll, and I'll say because there's 2 of you doing it with increased difficulty, give me an 11 on some sort of entertainment roll here, and you're good to go.
Okay. Can I do
That'll-
agility?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Makes sense.
All right, so then I've got a 4 and then I've got a 2, so it's gonna be +6.
And so what I just said is with Teapot helping you, instead of it being a higher DC, we'll drop the DC to something pretty simple.
Oh, look at
18.
that.
Oh yeah, the 2 of you have basically occupied an entire picnic table worth of cultists. So we're talking like 6 or 7 cultists are just in awe watching you, and your little helpers, your squid, maybe Phil pops out here, there, whatever it is you're doing, creating this little animatronic or light show, laser light show. It's just kind of it's they seem to be genuinely excited and pleased by it. All right.
There to be a
MSG,
diversion.
Ensign. Yeah. No, it's definitely helping.
I'm
Ensign and
gonna
MSG.
eat some food and try and iron gullet it so I don't get Too sick.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that. Chuck, you can roll that too if you want, if you haven't already. Just roll an endurance test.
Sure.
See how long you can keep that meat suit alive for.
No.
17.
Oh, not long.
Oh, 17's plenty. You're good. So Tango, you start devouring the food, and all the while, Brod Slocklov is talking to you. Oh, this very. I was surprised that you did not know the blue tongue. That it is not innate to one who has been inside of the blue god, the rotten god incarnate, the devourer of all of the grasslands of the Violet City, the fake, phony people with their commercialism. But you do not speak the old tongue.
Yeah, man. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't feel right questioning, like, why it spoke to me, but didn't give me the ability to speak as you think I should, man.
I see. And as you get done with your sentence, you just violently retch, like, all over the place. And he's like, oh!
It's okay, man. It's just gravy.
No, I fear this is... I fear you have fallen from favor.
Oh,
If I may interject, I'm a bit
Is it
worried.
pity?
Perhaps the perceptions may be skewed a bit. You see, Tango, he's as reliable as they come. Why, he convinced me to join this journey. Like, I never thought I would be a holy man until I met him. And perhaps the one you should be questioning is the host that he's within.
that's my only
Because-
guess, man.
The spirit is clearly strong, but the flesh was weak. And all the while, I'm going to be turning myself from the anthropomorphic human form into a kitty form and getting into his lap and just kind of like posing to kind of be ready to be pet.
Yeah, man. It's kind of messed up that you would judge me like that, seeing as I am an entity whose true form rotted away centuries ago.
I see. Your little kitty friend makes fair point. And so,
Yeah,
like,
man.
super quick, pulls out the sacrificial dagger and just, like, right into the throat of your meat suit. It's like, he will be food for the god. You may find another if you wish.
That works for me. As I ooze out of the nose.
He just kind of
Like,
troughs down.
Okay.
Slakov just like claps his hands. Two other robe figures come up and start dragging this choking figure up to the pedestal. Just lays him out on the pedestal, and they begin some kind of machinations.
I'll lovingly
I
nuzzle
like
his arm.
pause in the middle of my meal and just like continue furiously eating.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. So yeah, the meal continues. At a certain point, Slakov gets up, wanders over after the two of his cultists go and prepare the body for sacrifice. He moves over. He pulls out his little scepter, and you can see he kind of holds the scepter like right on the chest of this dying or near dead individual. Mumbles some kind of words that you're out of earshot, but it sounds like that tongue that you don't recognize. And you can see that pulling out from the chest are these like little tendrils of like spirit vapor, almost like Tango's physical form, but not quite. It's something's different about it. And it just sort of enters into the scepter, and then he shouts over the edge of the sea, and you can see these incrustations begin to pop up from like below the moss, like those giant shark fins, and they're glistening with like some kind of beautiful, colorful, like pinkish orange gems. And then the Megapede, one of the segments comes up, breaks the surface of the moss sea. You can see its mouth has opened up, this giant biomechanical maw, and Slakov just rolls the body and it just falls off right into the mouth of the Megapede once more. And everyone cheers. Huzzah! Huzzah!
Yeah. I'll lovingly like do the cat thing where you weave between the legs, clearly trying to get his attention to pet me.
While they're distracted, I do want to kind of maybe go to, I don't know, maybe like Lamb and Khalil will be like, hey, they totally plan to do that to all of you too.
Yep, this
Spread
is
the
gonna be
word.
a problem.
So
Yeah, I kind of thought that.
How long
Kinda
does
thought
the mouth stay open for this whole procedure? Like,
Oh, it's
say
quick.
I
It's
were
very
to
quick.
wait until the next time you were doing it, and I try to push him. Do I think I would have enough time?
Well, there's a fairly long distance between like the risen platform that like he walks out over where like the altar is for sacrifice and down by the picnic tables. There's like a good 30 or 40 feet between, and there's like no one in that space between. It's like no one seems to get close. It's like a revered spot for him. So you could do it, but you'd be bull rushing and it would be clear as day. So you don't have a ton of time, but you could try it.
We might have
Okay.
other options.
Okay.
Might.
Okay. Do you have something in mind there, Teapot?
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
So Lamb is gonna lean over to Khalil and say, "If you thought this might happen, what should we do?"
Well, I'm hoping everyone's going to fall asleep here in the next minute or two.
Yeah. And you're looking around and you see that there's like 10 or 12 of them that are like just kind of yawning a bit. I'm tired. Sacrifice takes a lot out of you. Good.
So what Lamb's gonna start doing with kind of the light show is switch from blue-ish lights to more like yellowish lights.
Start bringing them down a little bit.
Exactly.
So Slavkov will come back down from the altar. He'll sit down, pick up MSG, put you on the top of the table. Again, there's all this food here. And he says to you, and he's like, "You know, Kitty, it pains me to say this, but I have not seen you partake in the bounty before us. And I must say to you that the rotten god is not beneath meat from any species." And he grabs you by the scruff of the neck at that point and just starts to pull you up. I believe it might be time for you, my friend. But rest assured, this is a position of great honor. You will. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I try and soul juice him?
Sure. You can certainly try. This is going to be contested.
Yeah.
You're just
Okay, so I should get +4 on this.
What is soul juicing?
It lets me
Basically-
possess their body.
Yeah, basically try to take him over.
Hmm.
Okay. All right, so
And I'm gonna spend my last heroics to throw a 6 on there, or D6 on there as well.
okay, go ahead. So I need to beat a
15.
15,
Yo. Oh
17. So I was
yeah.
close. That's a really crappy roll in the heroic, or else you probably would have got it. Okay, so you go for the nostril. You go right at the nostril, and as you do, he like just backpedals as quickly as he can and quickly throws like the edge of his robe over his face, still kind of clinging on to the scruff of MSG. "Slater, blasphemous fool, get them! They are Cretans!" And you watch as like, I was gonna say like I'll set up, and so as he's saying that, like everyone goes to stand up to help, and as they do, like half of them just collapse and fall asleep into the food, just. And so there's like only maybe like 12 of them as opposed to 24. MSG, what were you gonna do?
Oh, I was gonna basically, because I've got the elastic body and he's got the loose fling ropes. Everybody fell down anyways. I was gonna basically have the tip. I've got that venom spike, and he has made physical contact with me. I'm gonna poke him with the tail, and I'm going to. What's the term for that one again? I'm going to enthrall this human.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I need to. I mean,
it's
why
the same.
fight the cult when you can just enthrall their leader?
I think it's the same thing as Chuck. Like let's roll it contested. So roll roll your skill test or whatever it is.
Yeah, it says moderate charisma tests. I don't think I
Moderate
have
charisma
any good
test.
skills to put to it. Yeah, not really, but why not? It's fun.
Yeah, let's do contested. I know it says that, but it's just like the guy's fairly charisma. It's just the same
for
roll
sure.
for me. I rolled an 18, so you got to be a 24.
I
if you
will
want to.
use I'll use one of my heroics. So it would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't want to take over a cult?
Remember,
right?
you can use your heroic to like we use it as like reroll or advantage if you want to start closer to.
I'm gonna try with a full reroll.
Yeah.
Well,
You
Okay.
have more to spend to push it over 24.
They do carry over from previous sessions. It's just you have a max of like 6 at once. I think you can only start with
Okay.
like 6. And
So
Melissa,
I
did we have
do-
any bits ones from last time?
Okay, so
I will check my notes.
I've still got a couple of my own to put into it, so I'll try a d6.
Go for
We
it.
had 6 heroics actually left from last time.
Up to
Oh,
19.
goodness.
So that's 2.
You need to beat a 24.
Okay, so
So
I'm
you need
up to
5
19.
more. 6 more.
I'll
Oh my
use.
gosh.
Okay, so I'm using up all my own first.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good.
Okay, this is my last, so I'm so close. It'll
3
be
or
so
better.
worth it.
There you go. What the heck's with the 3s?
Just 3.
I don't know.
Okay. So as he holds up, you inject your little needle into underneath his arm, like you go right through like the cuff of the robe, and you can feel it like hit flesh, and he just begins to sort of kill them, and then
It's
just kind of
okay.
starts to
You
get
are
into this.
always rotten on the inside. I'll help show you the way to be the most rottenest version of you could ever be.
Okay. I think let's do combat. Let's do initiative roll because there's a bunch of people around here. It doesn't mean that you can't talk them out of it, but I think off the bat we'll do initiative and then we'll see how things go because we've never done it before too, so it'd be cool to kind of take this out for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. So Melissa will keep track of that.
how do we do initiative?
Okay, so the way initiative works is a little different. It's you guys don't all roll. Basically, it's the side rolls, and 1 per person gets to do it. So like each round, somebody new from your side gets to roll it. So there is if you look in the rules and help folder under the journals page, I got like a combat actions and stuff. You can look at it if you want. Combat really boils down to just say what you want to do, and if it sounds like it's an action, then it's an action. You get 2 actions on your turn. There's like a whole list of them, but it's incomplete list, and sometimes it's like fluid and stuff. So just be creative and say what you want to do, and we'll if it sounds like it needs a roll, we'll do a roll. If it sounds like it doesn't need a roll, we won't do a roll, and kind of go from there. If it's just straight up attacking, that's pretty simple. You just kind of roll your attack skill, whatever that's going to be. So
I have 4 agility, so
okay.
decent at an initiative.
I'll let you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys can pick.
You've got 5. Tango. Well, then go right ahead.
Okay.
All right, so Chuck, go ahead and roll. I believe it is a D6 plus your your skill
Old
bonus
school
there.
initiative.
Yep.
Bam. 11.
All right,
You can't
I
do any better
get-
than that.
Nice.
I cannot beat that. I have a 1d6 plus 2, so I can't beat that. So yeah, so basically you guys get to go first. And you can go in whatever order, doesn't matter. So let's just set the scene then. We've got Khalil, who is back by the coffee area. He has been handing out doses of coffee, has managed to very quietly but very effectively dose half the crowd. So instead of fighting like 24 plus the boss, you've got 12 plus possibly the boss. We'll see. So like half of them are out. Khalil, you're probably surrounded by about 2 of them who have been sort of flanking you and watching you. We'll say one of the others fell asleep. Ensign, you're at a table. And I'll say like maybe there's 2 of them that are surrounding you as the others kind of fell asleep as well. MSG and Tango, you're over by the boss, by Slevkov himself. And you can see that next to him at his table, there were a couple others, the people who got up and like helped prepare the previous sacrifice. Of those, we'll say one of them stayed awake. and then by both the satraps who have been doing kind of distracting the others. You can see the rest of them have been kind of paying attention to your little puppet show. So that's kind of where everyone's at. You're all within like a movement of each other. There's plenty of things you can mess with in the environment, picnic tables, food, stuff like that. Cliffs are nearby as well. So anybody can go in whatever order you like.
Mine's going to be easy. One of the dudes next to the boss, I want to try and slither up his nose.
Oh, yeah. Do the contested thing. They're just a flat D20, the regular guys. Okay. So beat a 9 and you're good.
19.
Oh, yeah, you're in. That's one action. You take them over, and I'll say you can have like another action. Did you get 2 per round?
Okay. I want to try and just like go bear hug the boss.
Okay. So if you're just going to try to like do some kind of grapple, this sounds like a strength roll. So roll strength, and if you have anything that you think might warrant it, he'll get a contest, but technically he's under compulsion. So I'll say as long as you beat like roll and beat like a 7, and we'll say it's successful.
16.
Oh yeah. So you managed to you've got him wrapped up. MSG, you're still being held by the scruff of your neck, but your tail has now embedded into this guy's forearm, and you have this guy completely tied down between the two of you. Who would like to go next?
I'd be tempted to have MSG go first out of us.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how much I can do with my size change within one round. Like everything's a little fluid, but what I'd like to do is shrink my size just enough so it's hard for him to maintain the grip so that I can drop down, then like scurry under the table back to where my robes were with my equipment for when I'm in a more anthropomorphic form, and kind of get down under the robes to where it's hard to see me, to set up to basically, because I have a rifle hidden amongst those, and I would just like to surprise somebody with like a rifle shot out of nowhere.
Oh, hell yeah. Totally. So this is the cat fire. Wait, no, this is him firing the rifle because you have him controlled. So he's going to pull the rifle.
No, I'm going to let him stay there because he's mind controlled.
Okay. And
so basically we're best friends now. So I'm just going to good. We're buddies.
Okay.
So I'll let him stay there. I'm going to scurry over to where my own stuff is, where I've got a rifle that I had to leave to switch into cat form. This may be more than I can do in one round.
That's right. You have the thing where you can go anthropomorphic, right? That's
I've got the weird
I'm picturing like a little kitty trying to shoot a gun. I'm like, wait, how's that work? But
it's kind of like I always picture it like Jake from Adventure Time, sort of, where it's like the weird stretch into different.
So yeah, we'll say movement to your stuff, and then morphing into your shape is probably your turn, and then on your next turn you can grab the gun and shoot. Sound
Perfect.
Good? Okay.
Yeah. They should never see it coming because I'm a good person.
Okay. Who would like to go next?
I would.
Go
ahead.
Or you can go.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'm fairly surrounded by people, right, on either
You've got
side.
Like 2 near you. Yeah, you got 2 nearby.
I'm going to remove my glove and say, "Behold, I am the favorite of your god. Behold my rotting flesh," as I show off my skeletal fingers. And if that distracts them, I'm going to knife one of them.
Oh, geez.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make a roll on whichever one you want. They're all the same. They're all just mooks. So yeah.
All right, so I'm rolling a d20. I get a +2 bonus for level. Is that how this works? Is that what the bonus is?
Yeah, for your skill. Like if you're using a skill for this, for sure.
Then my skill, 23.
Oh God, yeah, that's well more than enough. Go ahead and roll damage. So do you have your damage in for your item?
I don't. It's just a knife.
What is it?
A knife.
Just roll, we'll say a d6.
Okay. Then can I use my other d6s to up the damage, or is that only for the normal roll?
That's a good question. I don't know that actually. For now, we'll say yeah until I'll double check that later.
All right. So go ahead and roll the d6 for the knife. Only a point, so I'm going to blow one of my d6s. 34 points. Is he still alive?
How much total? What was the grand
Four.
total? 4.
Unless I add my XP bonus to that as well.
No, not to
Nope,
damage.
okay.
Sorry, I just got distracted by chat.
That's all right.
4 points. 4 points is enough to kill him. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly
That's
4
fair
health,
then.
4 life.
So look at my hand. Right in the guts.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so you take one of them out. There's still another one standing next to you. Ensen, Lamb, and Teapot, I think, are left to go.
Yeah. I wanted to. So I'm still at the table, right? So there's,
Yeah,
like,
you're at a
two by
table.
me.
There's a couple around you. Sure.
Okay. I want to use my spell for the first time.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
What are these tables like made out of? Like, are they just like flip up tables?
Looks like some kind of like they look very much like old, like partially rotted picnic tables.
Okay. So I just want to stand up, like ignoring that they're in front of me, and just knock them over as I go to stand. And then Ensign just flexes like this until his pecs pop out, and they start like pumping as his warhammer rises off of his back, and you see these two like ghostly hands wielding it, and he goes to attack somebody with it.
That's brilliant. Yeah. It's just so brilliant. Oh goodness. Oh my god.
Oh wait, first he pushes play on his Walkman too. That's the first thing. He like puts his headphones in, pushes play on the Walkman, and then
okay. The target you got to hit for the mooks is 10, just so everybody knows.
Okay.
It's the same problem. The boss is different, but if that comes into play, but the mooks are 10.
Okay, and then so that would be like a skill, since I
It's
have
whatever
it
you want,
as,
your Musclemancer skill or whatever it is, whatever
Okay.
you think, whatever one of your skills that you think you're using right now, because it sounds like you are. Take that and then roll your d20, add your +2 from that, and then strength, I would imagine.
Yep.
And
All
then
right.
go from there.
21.
That's more than enough. Yeah. Did you write down the damage for your warhammer?
It's a D8.
Okay, so roll your d8.
Okay.
And they have 4 health, so no armor. And you
4.
describe how you kill this one with your giant muscle-infused warhammer.
It just goes and tries to flatten him like vertically into the ground with a strike. Yeah.
And just down he goes. His head just kind of like smacks into like, you see stuff just squirt out his ears like really rapidly. His body just clumps and then just falls to the ground. Beautiful. Okay,
right.
The satraps. I think you still have to go. What do you guys want to do?
I got an easy one because Laser Land Squid that was doing light shows now just gonna level at one of them, and I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot him.
All right, please do. Please do.
I don't know how to work that in as a bonus because it is like a ballistic weapon targeting.
So, let me look at your character. You're Teapot, right? Okay.
Yes.
You've got. So this is your pet, though, right? This is your
I
pet
don't-
that's doing it.
It's something that we got when we created the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he counts as a pet.
Yeah, this is like your special satrap thingy. Okay, here. This is what we'll say. I'll say roll like your aura, and we'll treat this like the force of your command over the like. So it's more like as long as you can maintain like your kind of command and like your presence over your pet, they're gonna have no problem firing. So so we're putting it on you to like the force of your command to sort of get him to fire and target where you want him to be. Oh, 17 is plenty. Yeah. Damage wise, I don't know. Let's see. It's a laser-eyed land squid. Jeez. Just do it.
Right.
What's up?
It's like
Let's do like a D8 for that, I think.
Okay.
Let's do a D8. Sounds good. Well,
No,
better than a
okay.
knife, but let's not go too crazy with it. So I set the precedent with Bert. So if you wanted to burn a heroic to add damage, I'm fine with that.
maybe I'll just take my bow and fire it as well for my
Okay.
second action. and just see
Yeah,
if I
that's
can
fine.
see if I can 1-2 this guy.
Okay. So you command your pet fires a laser targeting thing. Maybe that'll help you hit or something. DC 10 is still what we're trying to hit.
Just
Right on the dot. All right, go ahead and roll your damage for that. 6. Yeah, so you see like the little laser beam come out from your squid, and it's almost just like setting a target for you, like right on the forehead of the guy, kind of burning in little bits of smoke, kind of coming up from where it's burning and burrowing a hole into its forehead, and you just hold up the bow and you fire an arrow right where the laser's pointing, and they just fall clean over.
What a show.
And then Lamb.
All right,
would
so
you like
first
to
thing I'm
do?
going to do is I'm going to hit Phil, who has the ability of pickpocketing, but I'm going to say that that's like try to take someone's weapon from them in this situation.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to disarm them. Sure. Yeah, roll. What I'll say, this is probably contested. So roll your d20, probably agility or maybe strength if you prefer, and then whatever skill.
Ready? 16 for Phil's roll.
All right, it's just gonna be a flat 20 for my guy. Yeah, you knock. So he's pulling this large sacrificial knife out, and you just smash it, and it goes flailing off to the side, falls over the cliff, and down into the sea. So
Okay,
that's one
and
action.
Right. So then, Lamb herself will just go ahead and try to throw a dagger axe at that one. So that's going to be agility.
Yeah.
14.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Go ahead and
D8, 7.
describe your kill. You guys are crushing it. Each one of you killed one.
So what I imagine is, kind of going for the weapon, and just kind of got it, kind of pull out of his hand. And so I kind of imagine like as he was going for that, he kind of left his center mass exposed. So it was really just pretty easy. Target practice, center mass,
Okay, beautiful.
dagger axe.
So that is your rounds. It's going to be my rounds now. What did you roll initially, MSG, for your enthrall on this guy? Do you remember what it was? It's high, right? There's like 25, I think, is where you were at.
Oh, hot back. It was a 16.
Because you burnt like a couple, and I think you rolled like
Yeah.
a bunch of 3s in a row, and then you got to 25.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna-
I had 16 plus 3 for 19 plus 3 for 22, and then up to 25, and he had a 24. So I just barely beat him.
I'm gonna see if he natural 20s it to try to break
could
it.
happen.
That's all that would break it. Otherwise, he's still enthralled. Okay, the other 6, I think it just makes sense for each one of them. We'll just kind of narrow in. Again, there's still a bunch of them here, but they're sleeping. Like they've been knocked out entirely. You can do whatever the hell you want with them when the time comes. But I think the other 6 are going to zero in, and it makes sense. It's super easy. We'll keep it simple, and they're each going to target one of you. So take a look at your defense score. This is what's going to come into play. It's just like your DC. Armor is just sort of a flat reduction of damage if you do manage to get hit. So we'll go from there. So Ensen, after you smash this one down, like you just Goomba stomp him, the second one will lash out at you as well, and will attempt to get a hit back on you. But will miss terribly with a 6, and so as
All
they
right.
lunge forward with their sacrificial dagger, you just flex a little, tighten up the muscles, and the blade is just harmlessly deflected off to the side. By Lamb, after you threw the axe, we'll say, and the one guy starts falling, the other one's going to try to just sort of tackle you to the ground. So I'm going to attempt to just go ahead and roll a strength test. Contest it against this roll. Beat a 14.
So when they're trying to hit us, are they trying to roll against our combat defense?
Against your
score,
defense. Yeah, it's your defense score. You technically can parry if you want to save one of your actions for parrying, which allows you to then roll a d20, add your, I think it's or no, a D10 and add it to your 10. You can set like a variable parry score if you want. We'll get into that when it matters. These guys are pretty weak. I wouldn't worry about it too much right now.
I have 0 strength, but I rolled really well.
Yeah, they try to tackle to the ground with their first action. They're unable to do anything, and then they'll just sort of like turn around and try to stab you with a 9. What's your defense score?
14.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You harmlessly swat it away. Khalil. Oh gosh, Khalil. So Khalil, the one that's standing next to you is like, what I thought you were teaching us how to make coffee. Very, very sad. This one's gonna pull out what looks like a dagger axe.
Like a camp axe, then.
That's what it's called. It's called in the book a dagger axe.
That's what I just did.
Yeah, they basically all have them. They're like a D8, close range. It's kind of stone in size, and they're gonna swing out at you with their D20. I roll a natural 1.
Wow.
That'll be a miss. And then Tango. One of them's gonna come at you, and it's gonna be so confused because like, brother, why are you attacking us? What is wrong with you? Have you lost your faith? And then we'll swing at you.
Sure.
We'll keep it simple. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm rolling ass. MSG, you go running, turning into your cat-like individual. This other person will kind of stand up, see you going for your bag on the ground, and will try to like pounce off at you, and we'll try to just kind of tackle you to the ground before you get to your gun. What is happening? That's a 2. They'll
You're
fall,
welcome.
and I feel like I'm doing my best Dan interpretation tonight. And then he'll turn around and swing at you with an 8. And rolling single digits. And then we come to Dan. This is where everything's going to turn around.
This is where it's going to turn around.
This is where it's all going to turn around. Okay. This one's going to walk up to you. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to pick up what looks like this giant like bone like these like bone rib cage of some rotten meat. It's gonna pick it up, and it's just gonna try to use it to smash into you, and stab and pierce into your suit. That's a 16. There we go. How is that?
Oh, that absolutely hits.
Okay. You will take a total of 6 points of damage, like we said.
Wow.
It turns around on Dan. Dan, do you have armor of any kind?
I do.
Subtract it. So subtract your armor from it. So
Okay.
how much okay. So what's the total damage you would take?
My armor is +2, so I guess 4 then?
You would take 4 points of damage.
Okay. That leaves me with 4 HP.
Okay. You're still up then. Good to go. And then we go back to initiative. So somebody else, so Lamb I think had the next highest bonus. So Lamb, you can go ahead and roll.
Okay, so it's D6 plus agility.
Yep. And I just get to roll 1d6. I think it was +2.
Oh no. Can I spend a heroic to reroll that?
No
No,
need.
not for-
You will go. Well, you can. Right now, literally, what happens? So when you tie, everything happens at once.
Chaos.
So it's just pure chaos. Like everyone can kill each other. If you want to spend a heroic to boost it, that's fine with me.
Okay, I would like to do that. Hopefully I roll.
You don't gotta roll it. All you gotta do is roll a 1 because it's tied, so you're good. Okay. So there are 6 of them left. Plus, you can feel MSG. That Slavkov is like working against your enthrall. You can see he's just sort of working it out. Tango has kind of got him in grips, but you can feel like his connection is he's strong of mind.
And we get 2 actions, right?
2 actions.
I do have a thought.
Go for it, man.
Because he's still got that cool, like, sacrificial dagger in his hand, right?
Yeah, he's got a dagger. They all have like these little curved sacrificial daggers with some kind of like pink encrustulation on the end of each palm.
I mean, I'd love to start off with like,
My friend, I just wanted you to know you're the only one filthy enough to be worthy of the god. You have to do it now. Now is the time. Sacrifice yourself, brother. Become part of the god.
Jeez, he's already enthralled. You're asking him to kill himself, but you're doing so in a way that makes so much sense. Give me a DC 11 check. Keep the I think the levels low to see if this is enough to get him to actually sacrifice himself. Oh goodness.
Come on.
We got heroics if you want to burn a couple.
If
To
the
reroll.
group doesn't mind, I think I would. I mean, yeah, I will. I'll use one.
Yeah,
I'll
probably should
reroll.
reroll,
You'd have to burn. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So you see him. Guess I am the only one. God. And he's like fighting with Tango, kind of cutting across his chest. Yes. And you see him, and it's not his turn yet. This is just sort of flavor. You see him just start to slowly, like piggybacking with the guy that Tango's controlling towards the edge, towards like the diving board. We're calling it. I shall journey vengeful. Okay, you got one more action.
I do. So there's this person who like fell on their face almost point blank next to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to just like barely even aim. I just want to put the barrel of my gun right up to their temple. Sorry.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Shoot the gun down. Oh goodness.
I actually do have the big game hunter helps me out with rifles and whatnot.
It does absolutely.
All right, so D20, and I actually get to add a skill. There we go. Watch me roll another 3 somehow.
Okay, I'm gonna give him because he's prone and right next to you. Like, I'll give you a bonus to that because like you're right there. He fell on the ground. It's in the fiction. They only have DC 10 anyway, so I think a 2-point is enough. Roll your damage.
I will. Okay. Come on.
This guy is just he deserves to live at this point.
I think maybe I'm too busy cackling at the fact that I got the other dude to kill himself.
Fair enough.
Look at that. He's actually cutting himself. Look what I did to your boss.
He's
Look what I
sacrificing
did.
himself.
Oh, no, I grazed you.
God. Okay, who's next?
The boss guy's got that scepter in his robes, right?
He does.
I want to take that scepter and just let him go.
Okay. DC 11. Some
Okay.
kind of like agility, skullduggery,
Yeah, I got
sleight of hand, anything like that is fine. Oh yeah, you snatch it right off his belt where it's kind of hooked and hanging down to the side, and you just snatch it right off. The minute you do, you just feel like all of these like strange vibrations just begin to like kind of course up the arm of the figure that you are now controlling, and you can hear through its ears like these little screams of terror coming out of the scepter itself. You got another action? Something else you want to do?
So I was gonna let him go. Yeah.
Use the scepter on him first. No.
What's the
can use it.
ground made of here?
It's like caked dirt.
Okay. I'll point the scepter at the nearest dude who's still up. And I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try and just really just kind of try to activate the damn thing.
Absolutely. 100%. I love this. Okay, so roll. This is fantastic. All right, so write this down for later.
Okay.
It has 14 charges. And you need to roll an aura test, and you can apply any kind of magical skill that you might have. If there's any skill for using magic of any kind, I don't care what, you can apply it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's an aura test.
Okie dokie. Yes.
DC 11.
I'm out.
It's
of
going to go off no
heroics.
matter what. It's going to go off no matter
Yeah.
what. So it's up to you.
We have 9 left as a party.
I will use one of those.
Okay.
I don't want to explode.
That's fair.
Fuck. No, it's meant to be. I'm going with that 10.
Okay. So what happens as you kind of turn, you point, you try to channel like through your mind the powers, the screams, and you see some strange kind of tissue ectoplasmic energy begins to dissipate from the end of the scepter, where you can see there's like this roughly hewn sphere of that same kind of crystal that you see on the fins of the Megapede. And out from it is this similar color, like specter, but not like you. This thing is just sort of ripped and torn. And as you're trying to control it, it rips into shreds. 7 total beams of these tiny, this tiny little thing kind of goes off in all sorts of different directions. Because you failed, you get hit by one of them automatically. So roll a d6, take that much damage.
3. Okay.
And then all of and then you can basically take the other 5 and kind of target wherever you want them, or the other 6. Excuse me, the other 6 beams can go wherever you want.
Okay. How many dudes are still up?
6.
1 each.
All right. Roll 66. Okay.
Okay.
3 are dead. 3 are alive. Describe what it looks like.
Yeah, they get pierced by this, like you said, like this pink magical thing. And it's like when it strikes them, they go like gray tone, just completely gray, and just collapse on the floor in a pile.
Okay. There are now 3 left. They do not look very good. You guys still get to go. So who wants to go after this point?
I'm gonna have Phil do another pickpocket.
Okay. Okay, so Ensen, go ahead and roll your swing on the other one that's trying to attack you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shift and look at him, and then like reposition his muscles and flex his pecs in a different way.
Okay.
As while he's doing that, the arms maneuver the hammer around and take another swing at him.
Okay.
We'll do.
Oh yeah, plenty. 13's plenty. Oh gosh, describe this one. Describe what
so
you
this
do
one's
with
going the opposite direction. It's just swiping up and just like trying to clip the bottom of his jaw as hard as it can.
Okay, and you just like it's the opposite this time, as the jaw just kind of gets ripped off as you swing upwards. The mouth just kind of gets ripped open, and it just falls down limply to the ground. Okay, you have another action. There's only 2 left. It looks like there's one over by where MSG is laying on the ground, and then there's one over by where the satraps are.
I still have one.
Can I make another attack?
No, we'll say Chuck just managed to basically beam and kill a bunch, so... So we'll say the one that's laying on the ground near MSG and one by the satraps is the 2 that are left. So yeah, and again, everything is, if you guys want to burn an action to move, you can get within range. I'm not going to worry too much. Everything's fairly close. It was a little picnic area, so everyone's fairly close to one another. So Khalil or the satraps or MSG?
I mean,
or no,
I'll just
I'm sure he
shoot
went.
some more.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Teapot.
Maybe
There's
we
one
can
right
just
near
not-
you.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with the land squid again. 'Cause it just seems fun.
It is fun. I like fun. Want to burn a heroic?
I only have 1, so.
Well, if you burn it,
we've
you'll
got
get it.
8 left as a group.
Okay, all right. We have
Okay.
stockpiled them up, then
You hit. You're good.
I'll take the shot.
Yeah.
For probably 1 point of damage.
All right, that's enough to kill him because of the... So describe how he dies, Dan, because of the damage already done by Chuck.
Oh, nice. I assume this is just gonna be like a laser just going.
It's like Resident Evil, the movie. Just slicing people. Okay. Khalil and Lamb, I think the 2 of you can probably take out this last one if you want to think of a way to do it.
It's not like right on me, right? It's a little bit away.
It's a little bit away.
Yeah, I'll just pull out my crossbow and load it up.
Just load it on fire. Go for it.
All right. Let's see, 20 plus 2. 13.
Oh, yeah. Plenty.
And what does a
roll
crossbow
damage.
do?
Just roll D8 for now. I'll look it up later. I just can't for the life of me.
I
find
think a
page.
crossbow would be 8.
Yeah, that's more than
Wow.
enough. You catch it right smack square in the temple, and it kind of has that sort of like William Tell vibe to it, where you can see the one
Special
side where-
delivery.
Message for you, sir.
and just falls over to the side. You guys look around and you can see this whole cult. Either they're sleeping or they're dead, and you watch as Brother Slavkov, who is just essentially kind of cutting himself as he's stumbling out onto the altar, onto that overriding a platform, shouts out something in that same old blue tongue, and you can see the incrustations below begin to pop up from the surface of the mossy sea, and he just throws himself down and the Megapede just scoops him up and disappears back below the surface.
Khalil's just gonna go and hummingly just start slitting throats of everybody who's asleep.
So I was going to ask that. I'm like, what do you do with the others? Like,
No, actually, we could put a few of these bodies to use, I think.
All right, I had an idea too, and maybe it's a dumb one.
dumb
We
ideas,
have,
you
like,
dumb people.
Tango Carne possess one of them, and we
Yeah.
throw them in there, and we see if when you get eaten by the Megapede, if you actually die, or if they're all dead in there just because they were killed and fed to it. Because if you can get in there and be alive, maybe you can like.
Well, I've been in there already, man. It was just full of dead bodies.
What? But maybe you can interact with it in some way.
That sounds super sketchy. I think I'm just gonna keep the meat suit, but we should totally give these sleepers over to a good queen.
Yeah, and what if this thing's so big it swallows them whole? Now, what if one of them was one of these polybodies and he was inside, and then it swallows it whole, and then the polybodies start spitting from the inside of the thing, and then give a
Oh, man.
polybody megapede?
I love it, man.
I mean, that's more or less what I wanted out of this too. Is the Megapede becomes ours? So
Yeah, I trust throwing the polybody in there a lot more because I can't die, but I can like have my energy absorbed and damaged and like.
I'll say one thing. You guys would probably know just from polybody etiquette that they're not too keen on just like sacrificing one of their bodies. Like it's not something that happens. Now,
Oh man.
she's a special case, obvious things are different. So I don't know, you might be able to talk her into it. Like you can try, certainly.
Oh, I
Just
have
sort
an
of
idea for
general
how to sell
etiquette.
it to her.
Okay.
I'm gonna pitch the idea.
Okay. So they stay sleeping. Khalil kills like one or two before these ideas are
Yeah,
out. He's like,
I was
"What
gonna
do
say, like,
do?"
You see like ghostly hands and a warhammer like hovering above one of them. Like, are we finishing that? And
Okay.
seeing if anyone stops me.
All right, so you call out, stop
Mhm.
the killing for a moment. You eventually bring the queen out. Okay. Say, I'll say, what a showing you put on here. Oh, how wonderful, just violent and terrible. I very much approve.
Well, thank you. That really means a lot. Clearly, you're a being of impeccable taste, and you know what? I was so moved by your willingness to join us on this holy quest that. Well, can I be honest with you? I have just a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of kind of a present for you, because honestly, I'm just so happy you're with us.
Present? What do you mean by present? What is this? Explain.
Now, obviously, we still have a bit of the journey to go on before we reach the stars, but there's a being of the stars that you could make yourself a part of, a more proper receptacle for your wondrous being.
Being of the stars. You asking me to take over this creature?
Not only would it help us serve our quest, but I thought you might enjoy it. It is a creature of the stars, and you've unfairly been stuck underground for so long. I thought you might enjoy something new, something exciting.
Yes. So be it. I'll try. But I cannot guarantee anything. I do not yet know how extensive my powers are.
Well, let's be fair. You can't get to heaven without taking a leap of faith, now can you?
Faith? What is this? Explain.
We're on a mission to find the stars. We have to search for it, we have to work for it, we have to believe that our actions will take us to what we desire.
I see. Bring me to the Megapede. Bring me to this creature.
Right. I'll kind of bring her over and
So there's a couple ways you could do it. Obviously, this is kind of, I'm rather partial to this form, of course, but we have some others that perhaps you could interject yourself to. It's kind of like you do a dinner bell. It comes up and eats you, and it saws some hole, and you'd be right inside. Tango can describe the innards of it, and
Yeah, man.
Maybe we give a little example show here. Push one of the other. Push one.
yeah,
of the
what?
dead
It's
bodies in.
amazing. It's great fun.
We need to know the words. Like, do any of you remember the words he said?
Just attempt to reproduce them. If he yelled them out before he died.
I do
Roll
have expert mimicry.
Oh,
Go.
Oh my God!
that seems perfect. I'm not even gonna require a roll. I mean, it's like if that's it is, yeah, let's go for it. Sure.
amazing.
Lamb, you mimic the
Totally.
words. You have no idea what you're saying, by the way.
No, I don't.
No clue, but you say it nonetheless. And I presume you get one of the sleeping bodies ready to sort of drop down. Is that what's going on?
I figured we'd start with the dead one since he's been eating dead people already.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so Lamb, you get to the edge of the pedestal. You mimic the voice that you heard from Brother Slackoff, and same thing happens as before. Crustaceans pierce the surface of the mossy sea. You roll over one of these bodies. The mouth of the Megapede opens up, and down it falls into it. My word! It's an enormous creature! Absolutely enormous!
Yeah, I knew you were concerned that, your current receptacle, it's a bit small. Man meat was a delightful companion, but I understand there's only so much storage there
Yes.
with that. Hmm?
I meant the pure physical form. I don't know how much bandwidth it has, but physical form is enormous. But don't be confused by large creatures can have very small intellectual centers, and very small creatures, such as yourself, can have very large intellectual centers.
Oh, thank you.
I worry.
If nothing, it would be very useful even if it's got a small receptacle.
I'm going to have to get physically close to it, though. If you're cool, I took over man meat and meat sack. I had to physically interact with them. If you could find some way to keep it still.
Of course, there's an unconscious body here. What if it swallowed you whole and you were inside of it?
Are you trying to kill me?
No, of course. That's why I'm saying, look, there's another host for you here. So you don't need to risk yourself. The last thing I want is for you to risk yourself. That's why we made sure to save a couple of these.
She's thinking about this. You're basically asking her to, so cut off your arm, and maybe you get 2 arms back. Okay. I'll tell you what. Roll some kind of charm, charisma type of thing. See if you can convince her to make this sacrifice. I think you make a really good case, so we'll keep it low. We'll keep it just moderate, like an 11.
So part of the big game hunter does include telling, tall tales and that sort of thing. Could I maybe use that to describe how amazing the Megapede is?
Sure.
Just
I think that makes sense.
what a huge boon this would be.
Okay.
This is wonderful. God.
You and I cannot roll tonight. We can't roll tonight. Unless we're attacking
Uh,
Dan, we can't roll.
We
We have
is
more
anybody
heroics.
opposed to trying a reroll?
Go for it.
Okay. That's better.
Okay. For you, I'll try this.
For us.
However, I'm a bit alarmed. I've not been with you for more than a day, and you're already encouraging me to feed myself to other creatures. I thought we were better friends than this, but I suppose I'll have to recodify our relationship.
I thought this was something that you would like. I wanted to give you a gift. Do you know what? If it'll make you feel better, I'll shrink myself down and I'll go in there with you.
It would make all the world a difference.
Together or nothing at all.
I shall call you Thelma, and you may call me Louise. Okay. So you're gonna jump in with her?
Sure, I'll make myself super tiny.
I got some
God.
insurance ideas to go along with this. Maybe we even a few extra
Oh,
bodies all at
God.
the same time. So, if something terrible happens, maybe it can divvy it out a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I know it's a terrible idea, but I just
It's both a terrible and a wonderful idea at the same time. Like it's just okay. Trying to think about.
I don't think MSG has any impulse control.
I think it's great. Okay, so what was your idea, Dan? How are you adding to this?
Oh, I was thinking that maybe we'll throw in some extra bodies around them so that, there's
Okay.
like that fire stuff going on. I don't know if they get down there, maybe
Okay.
they land on the
So
dead body.
They have something to stand on top of while everything's dissolving in the acid or something.
Sure,
Okay.
a little extra to work with.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing when this happens?
Watching in awe, man.
Yeah, just that.
All right. Ensign, Khalil, you guys interested
I'll
in doing
help
anything?
doing all the moving of the bodies and things. I imagine there's like a lot of physical work with getting everyone
Yeah.
prepped on the diving
We're
board.
totally good.
I'm stealing anything in their pockets before we
Oh
throw them
yeah.
out.
You'll
Oh,
get
yes.
plenty of stuff.
Phil too.
Yeah, like I can you guys can get plenty of stuff.
I mean, looting is a given.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll give you a list of stuff. Mostly it's like there's there's a couple pieces of armor, some of those dagger axes and yellow bone coins that are worth money. We'll get into that. Let's play this out and then I'll give you like a list of stuff you looted up. Okay. So you collect a bunch of bodies, you get them to the edge. Lamb goes through the mimicking, and then it's just feeding frenzy time as drop. And Thelma and Louising grabbing like hand in hand, or maybe just holding you in her arms, one of the poly bodies. Is it man meat or is it meat sack or is it one of these others? If it's one of the others, it might take time for her to control. But do you want it to be?
It would be fun if it was man meat.
Okay, so man meat, MSG, and the newly reborn Vomish Queen cannonball into the mouth of a giant alien Megapede. The rest of you watch them all dissipate, just completely disappear. Okay, I need you to roll MSG a charisma test. This is just pure luck, basically. Luck. They use charisma like luck in this game.
Okay.
So pure higher is better. That's all it means.
God,
Reroll that.
I will.
I love it. We were burning so many heroics tonight.
5 left.
Oh, okay. Oh god.
Oh, come on.
I'd be okay if you want to stack on that. I don't know about everything else.
Yeah, I had a D6 on.
I feel like this is one of those moments that's going to be important.
And just add D6s on from there.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got 11,
Oh my god.
12.
3 left.
I love the heroic system. It's great. Just keep
I
burning
know.
these things. It's
Oh,
great.
come on.
2 left.
14.
Oh my god.
I feel really bad.
I've liked this.
Yeah.
Okay.
14's okay. 14's not going to kill you outright.
No, we need something really cool.
14 won't kill you. I'm not saying it's not going to be bad, but 14 won't kill you outright. Anything
There you go.
20.
anything below 10 was like basically death.
Okay.
Okay. 20.
20.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the tiers are, but I feel like 20 is at least in the
20
good
is
zone.
very good, actually. 20 is going to be very, very good. As the two of you cannonball in, And as you do, you just kind of like a slide at some kind of theme park. You just coast down the throat of the frontmost segment until you slam into like this soggy, wet, acidic mass of people that you've now thrown into this thing.
Oh,
And
good
you
thing
can-
I preloaded it.
You can feel the acid like kind of splashing on you, but fortunately you were able to kind of land safely on top of like a giant wad of these things as they're slowly beginning to sink down. Now, while you're inside, you're basically inside of something the size of a school bus, right? And there's what looks like a big pool of dissolving acid, almost like you're in a septic tank. That's just like the bacteria is just eating and sort of reproducing itself and it's maintaining its quantity. Meanwhile, you look around and there's panels left and right in here. Like it's like there's these metallic panels and you can see the interior lining of this thing because you know this is biomechanical in some way. So you're seeing like bits of both, like kind of like an old flesh, but also like a cerametal or plasteel type of component. And you hear her say, "Oh my goodness."
Right? And tell you what,
I'm gonna stretch my body out and kind of like stretch it sideways as well, and kind of make myself like a nice little step for her to be able to get to it.
How wonderful. This could take some time. So, don't mind. I will get to work. And you can see she starts just sort of like peeling back parts of like the skin of like man meat. And there's like these cables and stuff that you remember seeing inside of her nest that have somehow like managed to worm their way into his body. You saw it happen, and she just kind of connects almost like the Borg would connect to a system and just begins to kind of funnel things in. All the while, like those of you up top, you can see that those fins are like kind of coursing and blinking, kind of sort of giving off some kind of suggestion that they're disconnecting in a way. Inside, the actual bodies themselves are beginning to like deplete and deplete and deplete over time, and she still hasn't quite managed to connect it until finally, dramatically, right as like the last moment, because you're 20 before you would fall into that acid, she's like, "Oh, I do believe I do." And she just shuts down in front of you.
Is that the same on the top for the other half?
It's just she's just there, like man meat's just there, kind of connected with their cables, just completely shut down, not communicating whatsoever. And then finally, you hear like echoing in the chamber, "Hello, hello, hello. I have. Take it over. The creature. Very small. Minded. This one is. But very powerful. And you can see
smashing!
smashing indeed. Hold on tight. And so, those of you who are up on the crater's edge, you see as the Megapede begins to slowly crawl up the side of the crater. I don't know how you guys are interpreting that, but you see this thing crawl up, and it's 3 school buses tethered together, is what we're looking
either
at.
everything's gone horribly wrong or everything's gone horribly right. So I'll wait to find out if I'm dead or not.
Okay. Okay. So, the Megapede comes up, and you see one of the mouths, Tango, on the side of the middle segment kind of open up, and then you see one on the front kind of open up, and then the other segment kind of opens up, and like echoing from out of all of these voices, like, "Hello, compatriots, it is I. Whatever my name is, I still don't remember what it is."
You did it, yo. You got like a giant new body, man.
I do. Someone will need to retrieve MSG. I'm afraid the stomach acids have, well, they've done something to him.
I'll go get him. That's not a problem.
Okay. So you move inside, and you go and you get MSG. Jeremy, I need you
Mhm.
to roll something for me.
Okay.
I need you to roll. I think it's in the biomagical corruption table.
Oh no.
Oh.
Roll beneficial mutation.
Oh wow.
That's why I said you got a
Biomagical
D20.
corruption. Beneficial mutation.
20 or above was a beneficial mutation.
Oh.
13
No
to 20
way.
was cosmetic. And then there was like I had 8 to 12 was like deleterious, and then anything below 8 was death. Okay.
Wow.
Ooh.
So how does this manifest? Like, what does this look like? So your agility is going to increase, but as Tango pulls you out, and you've like this sort of dripping, strange, acidic goo that has somehow reshaped part of your body. How does it physically change your default appearance to allow for this increase in
Sonic
agility?
the Hedgehog.
I mean, I was already kind of like a weird greenish color to begin with. But maybe like there's that weird, you know how like Mercury kind of has that weird sheen on the top of it?
Mhm.
Like maybe he already had the stretchy, malleable form, but now it's more mercurial, so it's more quickly able to react to things.
Beautiful.
So
So you have a permanent +1 increase to your agility now.
wow.
And you can go up to 7. So if you're already very high, you can cap at 7 now.
Wow.
Awesome.
I do not. I had a 2, so now I'm at a 3.
You're at a 3.
That's
really good.
I'm happy to have a
bonus,
3.
Permanent bonus.
So, I must say, this creature is very unwieldy, very difficult to maneuver. Has a mind of its own.
But we'll get more regular hosts for you, of course. But bear no worries of that. But think of it as a net gain. Think of the things you could do with this, and while we procure you more hosts.
I must say, the creature very much has a bit of wanderlust. Apparently, it's been trapped within this place for some time by these evil people that you've defeated.
Well, then just let it know you have one mind. You were trapped beneath the earth. It was trapped here in this moss.
I feel
We
I owe
should
it.
all go.
Oh, well, I worry what the people of the trail would think seeing such a creature. And you can see as you're talking, like the segments begin to detach a bit, and so one of them just unhitches. Here, take this one. I think I can control the 2 segments as we venture deeper and further into the earth, which is where it wants to go. But for you, my friends, those who freed me from my shackles, I leave with you one of my segments to remember me by. You are very good friends.
You're leaving?
The creature is burrowing and burrowing. There's something it wants to get too deep beneath the earth, and I have a mind to let it achieve its goal. It too is captured. It too is lonely. Together, we shall explore what's beneath the earth.
I'm not going to lie. I'm possibly heartbroken. I think I do understand the heart wants what the heart wants.
For some time, we'll be able to communicate still. But after a certain radius, my control will diminish. But I have convinced you, the creature, that you are friends, and you shall take care of its other segment. Treat it like one of your own.
Of course.
Make sure to feed it. It's very hungry. Meat will do.
We never find ourselves in shortage of that.
Yeah.
So it begins to kind of climb down as it's leaving. Oh, and one more thing. There is something at the center of the sea. You should explore. There might be valuable tech for your satrap friend to deconstruct. It should help you in your travels. Goodbye, my friends.
Well, goodbye. Yeah, of course. You know what? Just to make sure you have something. What do I have on me?
Grab I'll take my signet ring. Sing
Okay.
it with her.
Okay. Oh, also, the constellations. If needed, you can break them down and sell them. But know that if you do that, the radius to communicate with the creature shall be diminished.
Oh, you're ever so helpful. Thank you.
I have learned so much in such a short time from this creature. Intellectually
Wonderful.
inferior though it is. Goodbye, friends!
You just see Phil pop out and just wave.
Bye.
I shall see you in space someday. I shall dig through the earth and reach there from the other side. Okay. So down into the sea, and it begins burrowing and kind of disappears. But you now have, they left behind one segment. Figured that was a
good trade.
I feel like it was a fair compromise. I don't know if we could have like a giant Megapede wandering in places.
No, I mean, like, I don't know that I would have traded the queen for the segment.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be like a burden. I'll look it up. I think it's like not a burden beast, but there's something else it could be. It's like a giant mechanical device you can add. So I'll work it out with Melissa.
Nice.
So you have something.
Caravan
Rolling in
continues to grow.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Just
we
be
lose
careful
all-
because there's still acid and septic tank stuff in the middle of it. So
You know, shit happens, man.
Does that mean we lose our skeleton porters?
does anybody here have necromantic ability? Oh boy.
I mean,
No.
we weren't doing anything with them yet, so I guess we'll just carry crackers along with us for a while inside of our bus.
Okay.
I only
Never let you
affect
go,
living
Cracker.
muscle.
Well, somebody wants to make that a task to learn when you get to a settlement or some training, stuff like that. That could be a skill someone wants to pick up at some point.
I can
Okay.
do that if we want to.
So, what would you guys like to do then? Now that you've literally just destroyed this entire cult, freed a giant Megapede, have one of its segments along in your caravan, and set a Vomish queen on some kind of journey to the center of the earth with this alien Megapede.
Somebody's got to go deep diving.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Super.
Deep diving sounds fun, although I don't know
Yeah.
how far away that is.
But
She
if
told us
we go
there's some
down in the
super depth.
thing, yeah, we got to
Yeah.
go down there. Like, it's not like it's actual sea down there. We just got to, find the
Yeah,
way.
I want to wade into it. Or if you like walk into this sea of moss, does it impede your breathing or anything if you get in, or is it?
Does not.
If you all want to tie up this new meat suit of mine, like, I can go scout it out.
Oh yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good people.
So Tango, yeah, you go scouting it out, and you find at the center this kind of like almost looks like a snail laid sideways. This structure at the center, this like kind of circular nautical structure at the middle. There's a huge entrance, kind of a tunnel. The entrance itself looks to have long been like wrecked and destroyed, like they were trying to pick away at it or get inside. But as you move about, you can see that there's all like she was right. The queen was 100% right. There is just so much interesting sort of tech that's kind of hitting beneath there. It's the type of thing that if properly deconstructed, and there's some fairly complex machinery in here, some very complex old tech, that it could potentially be sold for a not insignificant sum to like a wizard or satrap or a porcelain prince, anyone who's like into neurotech or something like that. So it could be interesting salvage. You'd have to spend some time to do it, but you definitely could do that. The other thing you notice, I would say, Ensign, since you were asking specifically about it as you were like going about the moss, like you get like it's almost like wispy in a way. Like it attaches to your skin and kind of drapes along. But maybe accidentally you let it kind of drift, kind of get into your mouth and you don't mean to. But it does, you swallow a bit, feels edible. Feels like it'd be something you could kind of stock up on. It's not the most tasteful thing in the world, but it has the potential.
I tried eating some last time.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to spend some time here, you can roll a check to see if you can deconstruct this complex machine in the middle, which could potentially give you some salvage to take back with you. And you can also spend some time collecting some moss to get some more sacks of food.
Yeah, I'll work on
We should do that.
the tech stuff.
Okay.
Food.
I'm good at foraging. Actually, have that skill.
So go ahead and like who's the foraging group? So I got MSG, Ensign. Who else is helping with foraging?
I'll go.
Okay. So Jeremy, roll that foraging test, and then you can add +2 for each one of the people that are helping you. Who's trying to like break down the tech in the center? Okay. And then Tango and Khalil.
Help. Oh,
okay, you want to help?
Sorry.
You're gonna help with that? No, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, you just need a strong back or something.
Well, maybe just some coffee.
Yeah. Oh, wait, not this batch.
I'll just stay in ghost form and just give watch over them while they're working on this in case there's something else down here.
Yeah, you scout around and you periodically find what looks like the radiated ghosts of various sacrificial victims down here. You know that they're not particularly harmful. Like they're very vengeful and they can be infectious to lesser minds. But as long as you steer clear of them, you're probably okay. And they don't seem to be journeying into the machinery in the middle, so it's more going to be a danger for the people who are collecting the moss than it is for those that are kind of breaking it down. Okay, so then Teapot, you can roll one of your tech skills. I actually have a DC, so the DC is going to be 15.
Oh boy.
MSG, it was just higher the better with yours.
Okay. Woo.
15.
Nice.
Who's the 15? Who got that?
me.
Okay. That
yeah,
is
sorry.
exactly enough.
Guys, switch back to the big map.
And then go ahead, Jeremy, you want to roll yours?
What is foraging based off of as far as the stats?
I mean, it's up to you. Like this game is very fluid in that. Like if you want to say it's like the physical skill of doing it, then maybe like agility. But if you want to say it's like the intelligence of like how to pack it or how to how to piece or pick the proper pieces of moss, it could be thought. Like I'm always willing to listen.
Okay, I'll go with kind of like the physicality, like basically like wrapping it around our arms like cotton candy.
Okay, go for it.
Waving your arms around.
So that would get me up to +5, and then how many people were assisting? 2. So +1 for each person assisting.
Yeah, let's get another +2.
Okay. +5 +7. Okay, watch me roll one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay. So you spend about 2 days, and when you're done, 1, 2, 3, you manage to get, oh my gosh, 36. Okay, you get 13. You basically can get what's it called? 13 sacks per day of work if you wanted to, up to whatever you can carry. And that's basically edible moss. So it's not the most flavorful thing in the world, but it could feed people, which is useful up here. Now, Satrap Teapot, and Khalil, the two of you are working in here, and I think Tango is floating around as well. It's a very, very complicated deconstruction takes you 5 days. Melissa, you're keeping track of days to kind of properly break this out. But you do realize as you're breaking it down that you trigger some kind of like self-destruct sequence. But with your 15, you're able to see it in time to sort of shut it down. And you realize that it was sending out some kind of aug pulse. So like this is some kind of aug tech. It's about augmentation. And so whatever it was going to do, it was effectively going to send some kind of like pulse of augmentation around. It could have done God knows what to everyone around. But you are going to... Holy crap. Okay. You got an explosion. But
Oh my!
only got a 1
Second
after
time
it,
that
though.
we've had an explosion on. Deck.
Yeah. So, explosion, I meant in the die, by the way.
Yeah.
You think you would guess, haggling aside, a good starting point for this would probably be about 7,000 cash.
Woo!
Wow.
To the right buyer.
We could get ourselves some fancy stuff with that.
Okay, and so then going back a little ways, kind of traveling back, make sure you guys get everything you got. Khalil, you are going through the bodies before. So, you were able to get... Oh, boy. You saw on almost every one of them... that's not a great roll, but it's all right. On every one of them, Khalil, you noticed that they were carrying... Or not quite everyone, almost everyone. They were carrying like these kind of handfuls of this yellow bone coin that you would know has some kind of historical significance to like Yellowlanders of all people, and it's like it's like an antique currency itself, and that each one of these pieces unto themselves is probably worth anywhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 40 cash a piece, and so you have about 20 of them that you could potentially sell. And you also, as you're going through some of
Thank you for the tips. I say as I slit another throat.
And I'm going to assume that you probably searched the church and everything like that. And you find also, Khalil, a set of dryland weave armor, which is basically a +3 armor, medium type, 2-stone size. It's cool, and it's woven from the cilia and special dryland coral hybrids, and it's surprisingly breathable. It's worth about 100 cash.
Wow.
So dryland weave armor.
Does anyone not have armor?
That scepter's still good too, right? Like it didn't break when we used it.
No, it's good. Yeah, there's a number of charges on it. Yeah.
It's all yours, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about magic.
Yeah.
As well.
And then, the only other thing, if you wanted to, is you could try to mine some of the corundum stuff that's on the exterior of the carapace of this thing, if you wanted to.
As
It
I
does
said,
have a functional...
That would decrease its functionality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just basically it'd mean like any attempts to sort of communicate this, the radius for that, it's basically like an antenna. And so like if you take it off, it's going to be harder to communicate it from a distance.
I'd say leave it on for now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
unless we need it.
All right. So you spend several days here. I think it was 5 total days.
Yeah.
So keep that. Melissa's keeping track of that for me. But you have some fairly lucrative salvage, and you have some money. You have some food. You have some salvage. You also get, for spending time here, you can go ahead and put yourselves at another. Hang on. Another 200 XP for spending an
Yay.
extensive period of time here.
That's a level up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I think so,
We'll
if
do
I
that
can do
between
math.
sessions, and so then I guess like we're almost at time. So I guess the question I have for you then is like, you had discovered another place, like these rumored cliff village thingies up to the north. That Shabawafa nomad Ultra said that there is rumored to be some kind of like, he thinks that there's like a like an urban legend of like some kind of city of the Ultras up in the Blue Ridge. Some of the other passersby that you had encountered at a crossroads in the steppe mentioned that some Lime nomad clans basically send their elderly up into the mountains, and just like that's how they go away. They just send them up as like a death sentence. And so you've heard about this area, but it's still a few days away. So you can either continue on to that discovery, or you can potentially like kind of get back on the trail and start heading west more towards the Porcelain Citadel, which means like we'd get back into travel. So it's kind of up to you guys. And that was specifically, it was going to take you 6 days. Well, actually, no, not 6 days. It's going to take you like, it'll take you 2 additional days. Sorry, since you're already like 4 days out.
I was curious too, like on recovering stats,
Mhm.
was it do you only recover them once you make it to your destination, or is it for every week that you spend?
Yeah,
It
it's
depends on
for
what you're doing for the week, I believe.
right, because you guys were in a conflict this week, because you guys kind of got into a fight and stuff. Like, I think you have to wait until like if you guys wanted to just like stay here for like a week, just like kind of chill for a week, then you could totally do that. But because like you guys have been doing stuff, and because you guys have got in a fight, you kill a bunch of people, you've like mined some stuff, you've collected some things, you've kind of already taken up a lot of. So it's more about like you take a week off and you just relax, and someone cares for you. Is how you get your stuff back.
Yeah, it's basically a long rest that we just decide.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
For the course of a week.
Yeah, but you could do that. And like some of you, if you're technically like over the course of that week, some of you could take, could rest. But if some of you don't need resting, you could do more stuff. Like you could try to harvest more. There's plenty of moss. You can harvest more moss. You could forage somewhere else. So there's other things you could potentially do. So it's up to you.
Yeah,
Really the
I was
only
just gonna
difference is-
suggest something because I'm down a stat point and I can't really interact with the magic thing.
Yeah, I'm down
And-
several stat points.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was gonna say, really,
yeah.
the only difference is if you rest, like if we rest here for the week versus resting in the settlement. Here we're gaining some sacks of food and spending sacks of food, whereas if we spend that week at a settlement, we can spend money on food instead of sacks. So that's really the only strategic difference, one way or the other.
We can stay
Okay.
here and eat for free.
Well, rotten food.
But no,
You need the moss.
Oh,
It's not the
yeah.
greatest thing, but like you're just basically eating salad for a week. Dry, no dressing, no croutons, nothing, just salad. So it's up to you guys. And we can like when we start up next time, we can retcon that. So I'm just kind of curious, like, do you guys want to go further into the mountains, or do you want to get back on the trail and head to the Porcelain Citadel? Nick of Venture.
We have a ton of stuff that would make money. Let's play it safe.
Money is good, man. Yeah.
Get to a city.
Tango, were you interested in the retirement home for ghosties?
I would like to check it out, but like I totally dig that you're all beat up and we got coin to make. I mean, we can always come back later if we need to.
It's totally
It's not
true.
like if we leave, it's gone forever. So, yeah, we can head to the city, recover, sell some goods, make some coin.
I would be
fine either way.
interested in traveling on, but we are definitely filling up our wagon pretty like, unless we get a lot more storage capacity from our new bus, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you the stats off air. I don't want to look it up right
Yeah,
now, but it's going to be a modified one, because this one does need to be fed meat, and it's the equivalent of 4 mouths, but it has to be
Ah.
meat too. So it's not going to eat this moss. Doesn't have to be people meat. It just has to be meat.
Yeah. Maybe.
Interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still got some bodies to carry us through for today, probably. I mean, there were a lot of cultists.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go sell some stuff.
Okay, so we'll head back to Porcelain Citadel. We'll head in that direction next time, and then that's what we'll start up next time. Is on the
Cool.
road back to the Porcelain Citadel. Perfect.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
That was That was crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
This whole
Mhm.
campaign is
It's just one of those things where I'm just like, okay, do they really want to give them an incredibly powerful Vomish queen that's an emerging intelligence and this giant monster? Like, let's give them a little compromise and give them a little bit of it, a little taste.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't mean she's not coming back. It just means she's exploring the underside of the earth. She's going underneath. So
You
yeah,
combined two things with very interesting motivations and stuck them together.
yeah.
one other thing I totally forgot about this.
Nothing goes
Conflict XP. Conflict XP.
Oh.
You guys got into
Oh, what's
combat, so
that?
there's XP for that as well.
Oh,
All right, so surviving easy conflict rewards 0 XP. That wasn't easy combat. Khalil made it a lot easier because he literally made half of them fall asleep at the start. So that was super clever. I would call this a middling conflict. Let's see. Bert, roll a D6 for me.
A D6, you say?
Yeah.
4.
Okay, so base, everyone takes 40 XP. However, there's some potential bonuses for the and then I'll say, Dan, roll another D6.
oh boy, I'm sorry, everybody.
It's so
Sure,
good.
sure.
Take another 10 XP. And then how many of you, I know this is hard to remember, but how many of you got a death blow, got a killing blow?
I got 2.
Agree.
Made a guy kill himself.
Well,
I'll take it.
technically, how many
I'll
throats
take it.
did I slit?
Ooh,
All right, everyone else, it looks like everyone got a killing blow. Everyone roll a D6, multiply that by 10, and that's how much you get. So everyone roll it for yourself. And you get that much more. Okay.
So
So
much
it's-
XP.
And so that's what your total will be as well. So you got to 200 from exploring and spending some time at the Mossy Sea. You got 50 plus whatever you just got for your killing blow bonuses. And that's where your XP should be at for now.
I got
Nice.
200.
Okay, nice.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
should have enough to move up to 3, which means your proficiency bonuses for your skill checks and stuff will go up. Also, it can give you access to other skills and stuff once you do some training. And you're going back to this citadel, so you should think about stuff that you want to do. Remember that this game, in terms of like abilities and spells and all that kind of stuff, you can make it up. You can take something that's in a different game, like a D&D or a Pathfinder, and kind of create the equivalent here. And then you basically do like skill tests and go to a couple different people, and you get the skill, and that's kind of how it works. It kind of it's always
Got
about
my next
encouraging
3
travel.
spells I want to learn lined out.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight. Let's do some plugs. Close it down. Let's see. Bert, what's going on your stream this week?
Well, Tuesday night, tomorrow night, I've got some first edition Dungeons and Dragons going on. Friday is BX Dungeons and Dragons, and this Sunday is probably Gamma World.
Very nice. Very nice. Chuck, what are the Defenders doing?
Oh man. Let's see. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central on Defenders, we're doing some Pathfinder 2nd edition. See some familiar faces over there. Nothing on Friday. On Saturday, we'll be over on Goodman Games Official, running Crypt of the Devilich. And then Sunday, we'll be doing Salt Marsh, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Jeremy, you got anything?
Just doing some more fun stuff with you folks. Something exciting on Thursday, even.
Oh yeah. So for us, for Lollygaggers, Friday we got our Impossible Landscapes campaign for Delta Green. Saturday we've got our Blaze in the Dark game with our Gutter Witches. Next Monday we'll be back to Alien. In 2 weeks we'll be back to UVG. But on Thursday, over on Garblack Games for a couple weeks, I'll be running another Delta Green game, Small Operation. So you can come check that out. If you've seen old Matty Two Arms, he'll be in it. Jeremy, I just suckered him in. He's gonna come by and let me. We're gonna run out a familiar face. We're not gonna spoil it.
Yeah,
A familiar
I'm
face
excited.
to this stream will be in that game, so we'll get into
Oh,
that.
excited.
So yeah, come back for that. So that's at Garbly Games, and you can see that on Thursday, just for like a couple weeks. It's not going to be a long running thing like it is with Impossible Landscapes. But that's it. Thank you everybody who hung out. Thank you for the bits, Karayan. Thank you for just hanging out and watching us do our little nonsense here. I'm going to put us on the end screen, and I'm going to raid somebody else, and you're going to watch more RPG stuff, and you're going to be happy. And yeah, that's how it's going to work. So good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.